So we have already created the database, right?
Yes.
So this thing we do, right? So what
Yeah.
does this line means? Because this is RDMS, so the data is in the form of rows and columns, right?
Yeah.
So when we are accessing a table, so asterisk means give me everything that you have from users table. So that's why we get everything. Again,
Okay.
basic I, right? Then, but the thing is, when we try to write a native query in Hibernate, there might be a chance that Hibernate don't provide the intrinsic or some functional, like there are multiple functions that are available in Postgres or some other database that are not general. So Hibernate won't provide you any method for that. So you need to write native SQL for that purpose. You can go for SQL as well. So the thing is, whenever you write the native SQL or go for the HQL, then you must need to know that when you get all the data, right? When we try to get all these data, so it is not
Okay.
beneficial to make sure that these data travel in the network, right? Because if I want only one or two columns max, I don't want created it and modified it. So there are I will only try to access one column, right? If I want only email ID of all the users, then I'll just get all the users only, email IDs only. I'm not going to get everything from this table because it does not make sense. It will impact the database server as well. It will impact the network call as well. And then we need to filter out data as well in our machine.
Okay.
So this is the first thing. Next thing that we must know that even if we want everything, right? If there is a scenario where we want everything, then too we never write asterisk, because there might be a chance in future there are more than 10 columns, right? And there might be chance there are 12 columns. So that's why we don't write. If I want even asterisk this thing, so I won't take this. I will use username, ID, first name, last name, email, phone,
Acha. Okay.
created date, create date, and modified date from public users. So this is how. Okay, my bad. This is how we write. The reason is there might be a chance in future we add 10 more columns. So we don't
Okay.
want it when we have written the query, right? When we have written the query, we only wanted these columns. So whenever,
Right.
even if we want every column from the every row and every column from the database from a table, then too we'll mention every column name. First thing. Another thing, you will never find code as native query written in this way, because there might be a chance this query that you have written, someone later on will try use the same query and try to use that as subquery. We haven't covered subquery, right, till now.
No.
We will see in the later on classes. There might be a chance your query that you have written, someone will try to use it while as a subquery, or try to use it while making a join with another table.
Okay.
So whenever we write a query, native query, so we never write things in this way. We always mention u dot. So the reason is, I mean, and Hibernate also, when it creates a native query, then also Hibernate also follows the same thing. They also make the query in this manner only. If you see the queries created by Hibernate, then it will be like this only. Right. Now the thing is, if you try to even access this query and copy paste it and try to create a join with another table, if that
Okay.
particular table also have a ID column, right, then there will not be any ambiguity that which ID we need to take. We need to take user.id, right? How I know that
Okay.
it's user ID? Because over here I have used alias, right? First
Acha.
thing.
You is alias for public dot users, table.
Yes, yes.
Acha. Okay, understood.
So this is how we use it in native query. Whenever you will create, you will write it in this way only. Cool.
Okay.
So we are today in today's class, we'll also only see this thing only, right?
Yeah,
So
yeah,
this is
yeah.
the user thing, and then we have used alias, right? u.id I can do. If I have to write a production query, then I will use it as this, right?
Yeah.
So whether I write as or not write as, both is fine, right?
Acha.
Both is fine. First thing. Another thing that I can do, like instead of a user ID, right? User ID and first name, I can take that f dot u dot first name. first name. Cool. So I don't want it as a first name, right? I want it as a name. So I can make it as name.
अच्छा.
Now the heading that I'm getting has been changed. It is useful when you have to show the data, and also useful if you want to get the values as key value pair. Instead of first name and last name, we can also do some other stuff so that we will be able to get the entire name. Okay. We will see in later section public and users. So my bad. So okay, right, now we get the full names. Instead of first
Okay.
name and last name, we get the full name. We will see what I have done over here. We will see in a later on when we are going
अच्छा.
to talk about the strings. Then we will see what I have
Okay.
done. But the thing over here, you can see that instead of first name and last name, we have now full name, right? Directly as name.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
this is what we can do by using as. So as we can use in the select, select, in the select. How many areas we have seen right now? Where clause, select clause, having clause, right? So in select
Yeah.
clause, I can use the as directly, right? But the thing is, in from clause, I don't have to write as, right? It is not required. But if it is required to write select as in the select clause, right? Otherwise it
Okay.
won't make sense. Cool. So this is the one thing it is required in. Oh my bad, my bad. Okay, yes, as name. Cool. So this is another thing. So okay, not needed in this. Cool. So we have seen how to use as, and we will see later on that why as is important in many cases, especially when we are having conversation with people who are not from the IT background and don't know the structure of the table at least. Okay,
Okay.
so this the as is the another thing, and then we already know that. Okay, let's see public users table. Okay, so modify date is already there. Already okay. Okay, cool. So instead of this, let's take public products table. Okay, there are two products only, right? So let's add product into public products, product values, and then one, and then take mobile cover, and then common adjustable mobile cover, and then price is 100, and now okay, primary key constraint, right? Now we can say anything lipstick, bread, and cake. 1 kg, 750. Okay, now at least we have 4 data. Cool. So I'm not going to write everything like I have mentioned. I'm going to write it in normal way because we're not writing code for production right now. So where I can write where, right? This is where clause. This is used for filtering of data. If I
Okay.
write asterisk directly, then I'm getting all the data, right? But I mentioned give me all the columns, right? Select clause as
Okay.
columns. Give me all the columns from the table products, right?
Yeah.
So I get all the columns from the table products because I haven't added any filter. That's why I'm getting all the columns of all the rows, right?
Okay.
But now if I want that, I want all the columns from the product, from the public products table, but where amount. I now I am filtering out data, right, where I want the
Okay.
price to be greater than or equals to 100. So I have filtered out one row, right, second, which is
Okay.
brand bed. I have skipped it, right, and even let's say skip to, okay, select star string from public products, and now if I even remove equals to, then we get only one product, right, which is greater than 100. It is 750 and it is cake, right?
Yeah.
So we have filter out the results.
Okay.
So what we are
Okay.
seeing, that if I want to filter out items, if I do select asterisk, so select rows is for choosing the number of columns that I want. Asterisk means give me every column, right? So select
Okay.
rows is responsible to fetch you the columns, and then from clause is responsible for selecting from which data type or an a specific data type. If it can be a sequence, right, it can be a sequence, it can be a view.
Yeah.
So it from a specific data type of a database, it will select it the data, and if you don't apply any filters, then it will give you all the data, right, over here.
Acha.
But
Okay.
and how you can apply the filters with the where clause, right? So right now this statement is saying give me every column from public products, which is a table. So give me
Hmm.
every column from the table products where the price is greater than 100. So I will get one response, right?
Okay.
So this is where clause. So where clause is used for this reason, and we will use it in the later section as well with the aggregate functions along with the string functions, date functions. We are going to use it, right? But one thing you need to know that the where clause is required to filter out the data, right?
Yeah. Okay.
All right. Then another thing that we should know is we can group the data, right?
Okay.
Okay, first instead of grouping, let's because group will take usually take more than half an hour. Because group by clause is the most complex one. Let's group. So now I want the data to be in the sorted format, right? Because whenever I want to search anything, I usually filter it by the price, right? Lowest
Yeah.
at the top. Whether it's flight, whether it's hotels, anything, I want the lowest at the top. Or with some other things, right? If not lowest, then with the top rating, right? So
Yeah.
if I want the products with the lowest price, so I don't want to filter out anything, right?
Okay.
I just want to order by,
Alright.
right, and order by price, right? So if I run it order by price, by default it's in the sending order, right?
Okay.
Price 50 is the cheapest, and 100 and 750. And
Acha.
what will happen, and then over here you need to see one thing. Then if two prices are of same, right, rate, if two prices are of same rate, then based on their index it will be chosen, right?
Okay.
And it also has a clause, we'll see it later on. So order by price, so you can see index 1 is at the top, right, and 3 is at the bottom.
Yeah.
And if I want to order by price but in descending order, so now I get the data with
Okay.
750 at the top, right?
Okay.
750, 100. Over here also you can see 1 and 3 is there, right?
Okay.
Lowest index at the top. So I can order by, and even sometimes if we use order by in production environment, again we are not going to write this if you want in ascending order, right? So if in this is how we can get it, right? In ascending order, 50 is the cheapest, but in
Okay.
production environment we add ASC. It's same, ascending.
Okay.
But the thing is, it makes sure that we want a specific item, right? We are mentioning it that we want to be data in ascending order. It's not like just we want any sorting logic. We want it in ascending order. So we mention it that we want it in ascending order. If we write,
Readability.
come again.
Readability of the.
Readability also, it shows intent as well,
That's good.
because
Okay.
it focuses and or emphasis on the fact that we want it in a certain ascending order, right?
Okay.
So otherwise it can be like it's, we can say that okay, we don't want the data to be orderless, right? We want the
Hmm.
data to be or in a ordered way, but it's specific
Acha.
to be in a ascending order with our price ranges. So this was the order by. that we have seen, and we can order by descending and ascending. This thing we can do. And the other things that we can say that all okay, so the same thing we will see right now, that the price we have, right? This is the price, these are the products that we have
Okay.
right now. Let's say that I want product, order by price, right? This is how it happens, right? Usually in any company, that we get data by the price whenever we sort it by price. But what happens usually, we never get every data, right? Because if I try to search mobile covers in Amazon, or I will try to search iPhones in Amazon, there might be 100 sellers who are selling product. There might be multiple variants of iPhone, from 10 to iPhone latest, whatever is going on, 15, 16. So the thing is, there might be multiple variants and sub variants of a phone. So or I can directly just type down the mobile phone under 10,000, right?
Mm.
So, and Amazon might have 1 lakh mobile phones, right?
Mm.
So it is not possible to display in a single screen 1 lakh or 10 lakh or 10,000 phones, right? Even 1,000 phones to display is not possible, because
Okay.
this screen is not big, right? And we are using laptop. A phone screen are even smaller, phone screens.
Okay.
So we show the data in pagination forms, right?
Yeah.
So pagination, you understand, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So whenever I need to do the pagination, so first thing is that I want to make sure that my product is ordered by something, right? Price, ASC, right? But if I do
Yeah.
this, then I will get the price in ascending order. But there
Okay.
might, right now we have only 4 rows, but there might be a chance that I'll be having 10,000 rows, right? So
Yeah.
it won't make sense for me to give the 10,000 rows back as well. And there also a chance that 10,000 rows, if 10,000 rows traveled in the network, it's going to take a lot of time as well, right?
Yeah.
Because ID is of 4 byte, right? We already know now. And
Yeah.
integer, this takes again very 8 plus, the 8 plus, and then again 2 bytes for each. So this is of 10 byte. So if I try to take 10,000, if I want to query a database for 10,000 rows, then it's going to be a humongous data, right? And it's going to
Yeah.
block the network as well, and
Yeah.
latency of the network will increase. And also, while passing the data through the network, the database one thread will be occupied, so other queries are not going to be entertained. And also, I'm not even, I mean, this is not useful because it's not possible for us to display 10,000 products, right? But we
Mm.
want it in the sorted form, right? So we use limit 2. So what happens now, I will get this response, right? But
Mm.
only 2. I have said, okay, give me the data of the smallest, of the lowest price products, and
Mm.
but the only give me 2 products. give me
Mm.
give me every column from table products, and order by price in the sending format. And but don't give me every row, every rows that you have. Give me only 2 rows.
Mm.
This is used for the pagination. But the thing is, what if I want these 3 and 4 now, right? I don't want 1 and 2 products. I want to search for more,
Mm.
right? Then I can click on the second number of page, right? Or
Mm.
I can click the next button. What will happen if I do that, right? Then I will add offset. I have already seen 2 rows, right? So
Okay.
offset 2. Now I will get 3 and 4, right?
Achha.
Visible?
Okay. Okay.
So this is how we create pagination. Whenever we have to
Mm.
create a pagination, we will use offset with the limits. Cool.
Okay.
So this is another important thing. And this type of pagination, there are different paginations. There are different types of pagination. We are not going to dive deep into that. But this
Okay.
pagination is called offset pagination. There are seek pagination, there are hybrid paginations. This is specifically called offset pagination because we use offset keyword, right?
Okay.
And again, let's move to the next topic, which is common items in here. So we can
Having having class.
it okay. No, having clause will take some time, right? Group by, having
Okay.
clause is used by group by.
Acha. Okay.
It will take some time. I will start it at the end if we have the time. If we have half an hour and more than half an hour straight,
Okay.
otherwise it's take complete 1 hour. Because group by
Okay.
and having is the thing that most people don't know.
Acha.
So that thing is the most important, or people don't even try to understand how it's working. So that's why it's, I mean, people don't know regarding that, right? So now
Acha.
we are going to see the aggregate functions, because we are going to use aggregate functions in having a group by as well. We will
Okay.
see why. I mean, we'll in the later sessions we will see, whenever we start the having and group by, we will see why the aggregate functions are important, and
Acha.
we must go through it before going through this having and group by too.
Okay.
So, I mean, how many aggregate functions or how many functions have you seen in Hibernate till now? Or not Hibernate, in database till now?
Now we have seen now function,
Okay, yeah, great. Now, one now is a function, cool.
current date also
Current date is a
uses.
variable, right? That is being returned from now.
Acha.
See, okay, let me, no issues. See, the first thing is, if I do the now, I mean, we are going to cover it also, date functions. So now is a function, right? Over here you can see it is function, right?
Hmm.
But when I'll do the current timestamp, then it's not a function, right? It's a variable.
Acha.
Arey,
Okay, okay.
it's
Acha.
visible, right? It's normal. It's a variable that is being written by now. Now it's just
Okay.
returning this only, right? No, no difference, except just
Okay.
the timing that has been changed.
Okay.
Cool. We'll see. We'll come into that as well. Okay. The very first thing that we should know is aggregate functions, right? There are different functions. One is aggregate functions. So, okay. Do you know any aggregate function?
No.
Okay, you already know, but you don't know that it's an aggregate function, right? Count asterisk. Oh my bad.
Acha.
Count,
Okay.
count, and then asterisk, right? Public and products, right? So it's an aggregate function, right? It will give you
Okay.
the number of count, right? It will
Okay.
aggregate the data, right? It will search the number of rows and give you the data. It's aggregated your database data, right? So
Acha.
one is count, right? What will be the another one? Sum and
Hmm.
price from public products. Now we will know that we have an inventory of, if I have only if I have one product, right,
Hmm.
then my inventory is of 1000 rupees 57 paise, 750,
Hmm.
100, 850, 950, and 1000, 1057, 1057, right? So
Okay.
same goes with average price from public public products, 250, right? So when someone comes from Zomato and says that, okay, or Flipkart, and says that, okay, our company has a average order of 1400, Zomato has a average order of 200, and Flipkart has an average order of 1400. So how they come to this number, right? So they will do this thing: select average and amount from public and orders. That's it. They get that, okay, 100 is the average amount. The reason is we have 100 average order.
Acha.
So that's why we get it 100. If we had some different values, then would have to get some different values. So
Okay.
we can check this thing from products as well, right? We can do the products, and over here the amount will be 250 something price, because the total was 1000, right? 1000
Okay.
divided by 4, the average is 20.1425, right?
Okay.
And okay, so these were the aggregate functions, right, that we have seen.
Okay.
Okay, just give me 1 second.
Yeah.
I just got a text. Okay, cool. Where were we? Okay, functions. Cool.
Yeah.
So, okay, so with functions, see now let's move to the string functions first, and some things that in a string function that we must know. So public and then products, right?
Okay.
Products. So, okay, what's wrong? So, okay, select spelling is wrong. Cool. So let's say I want something. I want products which have mobile in it, right?
Okay.
Or better, let's say user, public user, public users. Now say there is a thing that there can be multiple users, right? In this, and let's say you don't know the email of a user,
Oh,
but you know the name. So what you can do, select star from public and users. Where is for filter, right?
yeah.
So I'm trying to filter out, and I want to filter out based on name, right? So one thing is that when I have the complete name, complete
Yeah.
email ID, right? So I can directly match it, and
Yeah.
I have the answer. Cool. Great. But the thing is, what if I don't have the complete email ID? I just have the first name. What if then? Then what I can say, instead of equals to operator, I can do the like. Like means if the similarity you will find, right? Then please
Acha.
give me the response. And this means whenever I add the ampersand, okay, modular sign, it means anything can be before Ashish, right?
Okay.
And if I put it at the end also, then it means anything can be at the end of the Ashish as well.
Okay.
Cool. So right now if I do this, then I'll get the row, right?
Acha.
Oh, my bad. This, right? We get the data. So, and but the thing is with us, we don't want anything to be at the front, right? With anything at the last can also work with it, with us, right? Because we are the
Okay.
Gmail over here. Cool. So
Acha.
this is the first thing that we should know regarding the strings. And the another thing is, yes, guys, there are a lot of things. I will not going to use it in our database. I'll just going to show it over here, right? So let's say if I want to know some ASCII values, right? ASCII value of A. Got it? 97.
Okay.
So
Okay.
in later on, if you have some deal with the ASCII values, if you use some ASCII values, you can go directly and use the ASCII, right? And
Okay.
let's suppose that you have select star from public users. My bad. So over here, users. Over here there is Kishore, right? I want to know the length. Select. So what I can directly do, I can do the char length, right? And I can do, if I just copy paste your name, right? Get it? And how you can use it in your code. Like for example, if I want to use it in the code, I'm just showing you because otherwise I'm just going to not going to use the data, the tables that we have seen. I'm just going to show you the example. Okay, so I'm going to choose the first name, and let's choose the ID as well, ID first name, and let's select the char length, the char length of first name. Cool. Okay, ID is not there. Okay, from I haven't used, my bad. From public users. Cool. Got it?
Okay.
So this is how we can use it. But the thing is,
Acha.
there are multiple functions that exist just to get the length.
Mm-hmm.
We have the char length, right? So there might be a chance that character length don't work with character length, don't work with this. Okay, see, char length, character length, both are there, right?
Acha.
We can use both things just to get the length of the characters in a string. Right now we are just talking about the string, right? So
Okay.
now we will move further. Now I'm not going to, I mean, take these things. I'll just show that how we can modify the code. I mean, use the function, right? I'm just going to show you how the function works.
Okay.
So if I want to make sure that there is something, Kishore, right? Okay, it's already in lowercase, right? So let me add cap, make k caps. Okay, so this thing L case is not a function in Postgres. It might be a function in
अच्छा.
MySQL, right? So let's try
Okay.
lower. See, k was in caps, right?
Hmm.
Now we get everything as lowercase, right?
Okay.
And same thing. So u, if L case wasn't working over here, the U case also won't work. So we'll try upper. Now uppercase, right? It was
Okay.
camel case, and over here it's all caps, right?
Yeah.
There are multiple things. Like one thing is repeat, and if I want to say that, okay, please repeat Kishore 2 times, right? Kishore, right?
अच्छा. Okay.
So there are multiple functions. I mean, it's like not a single function. There are multiple functions that we can do. Even I can say that if I have this thing, I want to reverse your name, right? Instead of your name, good, DWG, it becomes good, right?
अच्छा.
So there are a lot of functions. I mean, I'm just showing you a few, but
Okay.
there are a lot of functions. Even you can replace also. So if you want to replace something, like let's say 1 2 3 and Ashok. Okay, okay, Kishore, cool, and then 1 2 3, right? So you can say that please remove 1 2 3. Okay, if I do this, then what will happen? Okay, replace is not okay. So it's not a part of this. If you try to use it in MySQL, then it will work. But it will replace 1 2 3, right? So there will
अच्छा.
be nothing to work with 1 2 3. Okay, let's say whether remove is there or not. Remove function remove does not exist. Okay, so function remove also is not there, right? So there are few functions that exist here and some function that exist there. So
अच्छा.
we need to check, and the function names are mostly common, right? L case would be the lower case, or you can directly use the lower, right?
Yeah, yeah.
So the substring, for adding substring, there will be substring. So select substring, so you can use select str, right? If
Yeah.
it does not work, then there will be, we'll try with substring, right? And let's try, okay, let's try testing, and then we'll say that give me 1 2 3, right? Okay, it works, right? TES, we get TES 1 2 3 range,
Okay.
right? Substring. So there might be a chance that substring will work in Postgres, sorry, MySQL, right? Okay,
Hmm.
so substring is also working over, right? Substr also
Okay.
working, substring also working. Cool.
Hmm.
You can just directly go through it. There are a lot of functions that exist. I've just shown you a few. So in future, if you want to operate on something, that then already there are functions that has been written, right? You don't have to write on
Okay.
your own, and these things you don't need to do in your Java machine as well, right? Because it's already been
अच्छा.
implemented. If you want to do, then you
अच्छा.
can directly do it in on your machine, on the database.
Okay.
So uh, that was our string functions,
Hmm.
right? So there are numeric function. There will be numeric function as well, right? So let's say
Okay.
that I have a number of minus 100 or minus 1000, right? But I want a positive number out of it, right? So minus has been removed, right, when I used the
Okay.
IVs.
Okay.
So this thing happens. Okay, just give me 1 minute. I'll be back.
Yeah.
Okay. So where were we? Okay, apps. Cool. So these are the numeric functions, right? So
Okay.
if you want sine theta, cos theta, then sine 90, right? If you want to do cos 90, then it can perform every function, right? All the
Okay.
mathematical functions also our
Okay.
Postgres can perform, and even all any database, right? And basic
Okay.
functions, like if you have some value you want to find the seal, right? There might be a chance that seal don't work, then we'll try with ceiling. Cool. So
Okay.
if I want ceiling of 2.25, 2.25, right, it should give me 28, right?
Yeah.
And what's the opposite of ceiling?
Floor.
Cool. So okay, so same number, floor 27, right? Ceiling 28, floor 27. So these functions are already there in Postgres, right?
Yeah. Okay.
So you can directly use it if whenever you want. And there are multiple things also, like I think this does not work. Grade test, right? If I have something, if I have some data and I have 1 2 3 4 5, I'm getting an intuition that it works only on MySQL. Okay, no, it works over here as well, right?
That's fine.
5, the greatest out of here is 5, right? So you can
Hmm.
do this thing. And if the greatest is there, what's the opposite of greatest?
Smallest or least? Least.
1, right? So
Okay.
like you mentioned smallest, right? You can also try the smallest if someone has implemented the smallest as well. No, right? No
Hmm.
functions available as smallest. Cool. And then there are log based operations as well, right? Like
Okay.
if I want if I want log base 2 end of a.
Hmm.
Okay, log function does not exist. Okay, so it exists in then MySQL. You can try it on MySQL. Yeah, it don't work with MySQL, so 10 also won't work, right? So you can try this logs function with MySQL.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And then mod is common operation, right? Mod should work. What is the mod? It is very important mod for coding questions as well.
Yeah.
What should be the output of this?
Not two.
This too. Cool. So mod is very basic item not to have in any database, right?
Hmm.
So okay, pi, value of pi you can directly get if you want to do something with value of pi. There is a function pi, directly you can use it. So
Okay.
power you can use. And okay, select power, let's say 4 and 2, right? 16, 4 to the power 2, 16. So these things, and we have seen the ceiling and floor, right? But what
Hmm.
about, so ceiling, if I do 2.25 in ceiling, then I'll get 28, and if I'll do it with the floor, then I get 27, right? But what about the
Hmm.
rounding? Rounding is like if you are less than 27.5, then I will give you 27. If you are
Okay.
27.5, then I will give you 28, right? So the round is
Hmm.
also there if you don't want to do the rounds. And also if I want to do some other things like square root, I need to find 36, we get the square root, right? So these things, so we have covered. So basic idea you have get, right? You have now that we have a lot of functions that, and we can perform any arithmetic operations using the Postgres, right? There are a lot of functions that exist, and it does not exist in only in Postgres but in every RDMS.
Okay.
So let's
Okay.
move from this to date functions, right? So date functions we have already seen now, right? We have already seen now, right?
Hmm.
We have already seen current timestamp, right? We have seen current. Oh, okay, triple R I have used. My bad. So we have seen the current timestamp, right? So but we can use current date as well. Cool. Current date will get only this part,
Okay.
right? So
Okay.
earlier we used current timestamp we have used, right? So this means this is date and this is
Yeah.
time, right?
Timestamps.
So I can do current time. So for current
Okay.
date I will get this date, for current time I'll get this, and current timestamp is a combination of current
Okay.
date and current time, right?
Okay.
Cool. Okay, one thing that we have left in the string part is that whenever I want to concat, right, we can concat two strings as well, right?
Hmm.
Select concat, then Kishore, and let's say unknown. Okay, yes, we can do it still. Got it, right? Kishore and unknown. This is the one way.
Okay.
But another way is that I don't have to, the one that I have used earlier. I can just do Kishore and then I will one space, and then I can just add this double pipe, right?
Okay.
This is also means continued. Then a node.
Mhm.
If I'll do this, then also I will get this thing, right? And
Okay.
right now you haven't seen one thing to note now is that whenever I use any functions, the column name becomes that function name, right?
Okay.
Over here I haven't used any column name, so the column name was empty, right? So over here
Okay.
what I can do, I can say okay,
As.
it's the name, right?
Okay.
All right. So we were at the dates, right? Date functions. Okay. So in date functions we have seen few values already, right? Then we can check whether local time is already also there or not. Yes, local time is over here as well, right? Local time, and then let's try. We have seen earlier what we have seen current time, right?
Yeah.
Current time we have seen, and current time is a variable with underscore, right? And this is the local time, and another one is current time. And now we have already seen, right? But the
Okay.
most important one, okay, so there are two three functions that is that is important in this thing. But one is date diff, but it does not work with Postgres. It works with MySQL. So where you will provide two dates, and the difference between two dates will be provided to you. But
Acha.
this thing does not exist in Postgres, right?
Okay.
So what we can do in Postgres uh, is that we will directly, there is another functions that we can use instead of directly using it. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to use from the table as well. Let's check from the table. Select star from public users. We have dates, right? We have created dates, right? So let's browse them. So we can do this thing, that select created date, create date from public users. This is it. This thing. So
Okay.
we get all the dates right now. But I can change it as modified date. Okay, modified date also. My bad. Modified date. Cool. But what else we can do is that we can add a function in this. Let's say modified date, and over here I can add a function, and the function that we will add would be date underscore add. Cool. So what I'm going to say, that please add date, and I will say the created date will be the initial date, right? Then I'll say please take the interval of 1 year. Cool.
Okay.
And then I will say as modified date. Cool. So create date, interval,
Interval.
interval. Okay, it's saying okay, so create, date add also don't work. Date add also don't work with this Postgres. So there is date part that works with Postgres, so we will use the date part. Cool. So instead of date add, we will use date part. But date part works in a different way. I mean,
Okay.
so if we have a date, right, and we just want a certain item out of it. Let's for example, so let's just we are not adding or subtracting the dates for now. We are moving to different item. If I want only 2024, or if I only want 9, if I only want date, right? Then what I can do, I can use date part, and now date part works. Date part works with Postgres. This is for sure, right? So over here, what I can say, that date part, and we have create date, right? Create date, and then I can say the date part this, and that, and what else I should provide? I only need to provide the
Interval.
year over here, and the created date is already there, right? So I
Okay.
don't need to provide anything. So year does not exist. Okay. Okay, no, this works, this works. Might be it used to take. Okay. YEAR. This is how we write, right? Date part used to work with Postgres. Okay, select date part, and then if I'll write year over here, year, and then 2020, 2020, and then 10, and then 01. Okay, my bad again. Okay, let's just add, copy, year, and 2022, 10, 01. Date part function unknown is not unique. Okay, could not choose the best candidate functions. At least it exists, right? Because it's not saying that function does not exist.
Okay.
Okay, but date part we used to use this. So why it's not working? Wait. There might be a chance that will do date part. The year. This thing is wait. We want the year and
Only month and date, I guess. Month and date.
2020 10/01, and let's set timestamp. Time. Yes. Okay. So the function over there. I mean, wait. Let me show you the error first. Then I will I will tell you why I add timestamp over here, right? So when I did this earlier, what I was getting. Wait a second. Let me teach you how to case, right? Let me teach you how to check these things as well. So when I did this, right, what it's saying, the method does not exist, right?
Okay.
And what's the error with this? That this is not unique. Unknown is not unique, right? Could not choose the best candidate function. So that means the candidate exists, right? But it's
Okay.
like overriding, overloading. I'm not sending the correct data. It's unable to find the best candidate there.
Okay. Okay.
So that's why I've changed this. Instead of a string, I try to make it a timestamp, right?
Acha.
So this thing will not work, right? So what I did, I just try to typecast in timestamp, right? In Java we typecast it. So I just try to typecast it and it's working, right? So I can now do the month from here, month 10, right?
Acha.
And then date should be there. Okay, date is not. So what can be the, okay, what can be the value for the current date? Day can be there, right? Let's
Okay.
try day. Yeah. Okay, so day, month, and year. So it's very easy to use. I mean, database is the most easier part if you are a developer. So this is the most easier part, right? We can just try
Okay.
and error, right? It can be day, it can be lowercase, or it can be upper, lower. So the function that already exists, we can just dive deep into that and using these things, right?
Okay.
All right. So these were the date functions, right? That we can use. So now we have seen how we can uh, get the data, right? Get the
Okay.
year. Okay, get the year, get the location, time. We cannot we are not able to add the dates because date add don't work with the Postgres, right? And date diff also don't work with the Postgres, so we were unable to use those two things, right?
Okay.
So now what we can do is we can move on and check. Okay, so these some basic things we have covered. So all right, so let's end the session over here because in the next session we are
Okay.
going to do, because we have seen now the aggregate functions and normal functions. We are going to use that in our next session. In next session we are going to cover having and group by clause, right?
Acha. Okay.
Okay, so okay, wait, let me